Republicans are now taking extra precaution after coming in contact with someone at CPAC who later tested positive for the coronavirus. Those same Republicans are now under self-quarantine after also interacting with the president himself. My next guest is one of them, Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. He joins us now by Skype. Matt, good morning.
Great to be with you, Sandra.
How are you feeling?
Great. Never had a symptom. We have no health problems in the Schlapp family. Thank God. I'm glad the president is completely healthy, and I'm glad our CPAC community is healthy. So I think coming out of CPAC, one thing we've learned is even when there's an infected person amongst thousands and thousands, in our case, over 10,000 people, it is very, very difficult to contract this virus.
Well, I know that there has been some of the Republicans, we've got a list of them here, who have decided to self-quarantine because they came in contact with this person and attended CPAC. Doug Collins, Ted Cruz, Paul Gosar, Matt Gaetz, Mark Meadows. I believe that there are others. They said that they did this as a result of CPAC contacting them, showing a photo of that lawmaker coming in contact with the infected person. Have you openly identified who that person is?
We're following all the public health guidelines. As you know, when the AIDS epidemic first started, a lot of people said we have to publish the names of everyone who is positive. And we had a debate as a country about whether an individual still has the right to have privacy over their healthcare issues. And as you know, at that time, people really wanted to ostracize those AIDS patients. And when it comes to this problem that the country is facing with Chinese corona, in the other examples, they have not been releasing the names of those who are infected. And so we're going to follow the lead of the public health officials. If they decide it's in the interest of public health to release a name, we're going to be good with that. We'll be happy to verify it. As far as the members of Congress are concerned, Sandra, you know, my team and myself, we contacted those members because over a couple of days, and we're still talking to as many people as we can to learn as much information as we possibly can. We learn a little bit more every day. And as soon as we had hard evidence that someone has come in contact with this patient, not just members of Congress, by the way, there's a lot of false stories that we only were dealing with VIPs. We've talked to plenty of non-VIPs who might have had interaction as well.
I want to address that.
Privately.
I'm sorry, I've got limited time and I have so many questions.
Sure.
But on that note, I know that you've been responding to Twitter messages from some who attended that conference who say, why aren't you letting me know who that person is? One woman tweeted you and said that her daughter came home from school sick. She deserves and has the right to know if she, as a mom, was in contact with this person at CPAC.
Sandra, since we have limited time, what you should do is go back and look at her Twitter feed, because she then responded to that tweet after we talked to her, and she told the whole world that she knows for a fact that her daughter does not have corona. She actually has a cold or a flu, and that she basically apologized for sending that tweet. What happens, Sandra, is people become near hysterical when they feel like they can get this virus very easily. And what the CPAC experience has taught the whole country and these other conferences is that it's actually hard to get it. It's people who are older. It's people who have compromised health. They're the ones who should be taking precautions.
So was the president in contact with that person, Matt? Was the president in contact with that person?
The person who doesn't have corona?
No. Was the president in contact with the infected person at the conference?
No, absolutely not. No contact, and the president is healthy as a horse. I'm healthy as a horse, and those journalists who are trying to fan the flames of panic by acting like the president picked up corona somewhere, I think they're doing a disservice, Sandra. Well, I think what we have to do is respond to the facts as we know them, and that's what we're trying to do at CPAC, because the health of our attendees is what matters.
I'm sorry for talking over you at points. I had so many questions, but of course the president was then in contact with some of those lawmakers who are now self-quarantining, which brought up the questions from many reporters. Has the president been tested, and should he self-quarantine? Final thought.
He should not. No healthy people should run out and get a test, because what that will do is prevent people who actually are showing symptoms from getting that test. No healthy people should be running to emergency rooms. Let's leave that for the sick people. The good news at CPAC, we didn't get additional cases. And that's a positive thing. And what we can't do is get people thinking that the test is what matters. What matters is your symptoms. What matters is your symptoms, Sandra. I don't have any. The president doesn't have any. These lawmakers don't have any. And one more important thing, they're outside the all-important 9-day windows. the 9-day window, and they do not have corona. People
well, this
do
is
not
part
need
of
to
the
worry
uncertainty, as we still don't know so much. We're going to hear from Dr. Fauci coming up, but the most contagious point we have been told so far is when you're asymptomatic. So that is what leads to other problems. Matt, we really appreciate
but
you
Sandra,
calling
but
in.
you have to quickly. But that is a very, very, very 1 in a million case. 99.9% of the people will experience symptoms in 5 to 6 days, and the incubation period, the critical one, is 9 days. We've got to stay
Come back. We'll circle back. We'll follow up with you, Matt. We still have a lot more questions. We really appreciate you stepping in.
I'll still not have corona when you do. I still won't have corona.
Okay. Well, we hope the best for you and your family, of course. Matt, thank you very much.
All right, meanwhile, a power grab from Vladimir Putin that could keep the Russian president in control for years.